Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Before I start about my presentation, let me introduce myself first. My name is Mufidi, but you can call me Syaif, and I'm from Management Program Study in University of Muhammadiyah Gresik. And today I would like to present about the result of my research, and the title is Analysis of Service Quality in Supporting the Effectiveness of Goods and Service Procurement. And here I did my research on PT Varia Usaha Fabrikasi. The next slide is table of content. Before we go to the topic, let me show you about the table of content of this presentation. I've got 5 points. Point number 1 is aims, and point number 2 is background, point number 3 is method, point number 4 is finding, and point number 5 is suggest. Next. Point number 1, we've got aims. This study aims to analyze the quality of service in supporting the effectiveness of the procurement of goods and service at PT Varia Usaha Fabrikasi. Me, as an author, can conclude that procurement of goods and service is very dependent on the quality of service provided, but from the provider and the user, because a form of cooperation between two companies will be seen from the quality of service provided and can also be used to test whether service quality can support the effectiveness of goods and service procurement activities in each company. Next, I've got background. The background from this research is the enthusiasm from the marketing sector of companies and existence from good and service procurement activity. For companies engaged in the construction and fabrication sector, when seeing the enthusiasm and phenomenon that does not fade from the marketing sector, not a few of every company engaged in the construction and fabrication sector must have a new breakthrough in order to be able to sustain the survival of the company. One of them is to focus on one of the company's supporting activities in the field marketing, and namely of these activities is procurement goods and services. Recently, almost all companies carry out procurement activities, but some operate in the service sector and some operate in the goods sector, and not a few companies operate in the procurement of goods and services. With so many companies competing in goods and service procurement activities, there will also be natural selection. Just as every company will competition to show its best side in order to provide satisfaction to its consumer. There are several factors that can affect customer satisfaction, one of which is service quality. The conclusion is when the service quality got a positive feedback, so the goods and service is effective. But when the service quality got a negative feedback, so the goods and service is not effective. And next, we've got a method. The type of research on this study is using qualitative descriptive because it utilizes qualitative data and explains it descriptively, and the sampling is using snowball sampling, and the instrument of this research using an interview section from 3 subjects, and the participant is 3 users from 3 companies in Gresik City who make a deal with PT Varia Usaha Fabrication in sector goods and service procurement. And next, point 4, we've got finding. In this point, I've got 5 subpoint, and according to Solaciono 2011, there are 5 dimensions of service quality. The number 1 is reliability. Reliability is the company ability to provide services and as promised accurately and reliably. Example, when I've got interview with subject 1 and 3 explain that in terms of conformity with the existing SUP, the providers were good enough to carry this out more than in terms of procurement of goods and service. Of the many tenders won by PT Varia Usaha Fabrikasi for user companies can be filled by relatively good service quality for companies that are new running the goods and service procurement factor. So point number 2 is responsiveness. Responsiveness is namely awareness or desire to quickly act to help guests and provide timely service. The example is when I've got interview with subject 1, explain that the timelines carried out by PT Varia Usaha Fabrikasi, but when carrying out the procurement process until the delivery on goods was deemed sufficiently qualified and could give a good impression to users. And so point 3 is assurance. Knowledge, courtesy of compensation and the ability of company employees to foster customer trust in the company. It consists of components. Component number 1 is communication. The number 2 is credibility and the number 3 is security. Number 4 and number 5 is competence and courtesies. The example is subject 3 said that the level of credibility, communication, and ethics shown by PT Varia Usaha Fabrikasi when carrying out goods procurement transaction was very satisfying. This point number 4 is we've got empathy. Empathy is giving honest and individual or personal attention given to customer by trying to understand consumer desire where a company is expect to have an understanding and knowledge of this customer, understand customer needs specifically, and have a comfortable operating time for customer. The example is PT Varia Usaha Fabrikasi really pays attention to its consumer as a user party, as is the case when users feel confused about what products are suitable for user needs. PT Varia Usaha Fabrikasi often recommends by providing quite detailed explanation. And the last subpoint is tangible. The ability of a company to show its existence to external parties. The appearance and capabilities of the company, physical facilities and infrastructure, and the condition of the surrounding environment are clear evidence of the service provided by service providers. And the example is like when I've got interview with subject 1 and 3, that in terms of materials, the equipment provided by PT Varia Usaha Fabrikasi to outsource workers is very complete, and so that there is no concern for users to use the service of the provider. And the last point is suggest. More prioritize and be more thorough in terms of user requests and improve the existing requirement system for outsourced employees. So it's not only assessed from the interview aspect, but outsourced employees are given extra coaching and given to conduct training so that they can better ensure that the employee is ready to enter the world of work. And the last slide is thank you. I'll say to everyone for appreciate this presentation. And the last word, thank you so much and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.